All right, here we go. Welcome again. What are we? Second episode.
Episode number 2.
Episode 2. Welcome to Comics to Cosplay. We are basically going through the cosplay process. Bake and I, every week we're going to try and show up. We may go every 2 weeks, but we'll try and do this weekly where we go through the cosplay process for pretty much beginners. A lot of people haven't done this before, and as part of this comic community that we are all part of, we thought that we could lead the way and start some cosplay related content. We're by no means experts ourselves, my wife and I, but we've done it enough that we can pass on some tips and hopefully help you guys do your own builds and give you some techniques, some materials, ideas that can help you with your own builds. And down the track, we can bring some people on if you want to build along with us, some character that you love. Do it, join in. But
yeah, let us know how it goes. Share the process with us.
That's essentially last week we did our first episode. We talked through kind of like the whole process. So go back, watch that if you like. I made kind of a little presentation that showed kind of the steps that my wife and I, Delphia and I, we follow kind of these steps to eventually build each of our costumes. And this week we're going to kind of talk about the concepts and our inspiration. So, Bake, what are you going to be building?
So last week we said I'm going to be building some kind of a mashup. It's going to be with the Mandalorian helmet mixed with Mr. Miracle. I got my inspiration from the Tom King, Miss Gerard's run from right here with the comic. This is one of the first runs that I picked up in the LCS when I first started collecting. So I thought that would be a cool little mashup with the Mandalorian. Give it a nice little Mr. Miracle paint job, and it'll match this shirt I got here.
So you can go casual to a con and
exactly. That was my first thing, is to be comfortable, because that you get crowded with all these people. So I didn't want to, be uncomfortable, hot, sweaty. I mean, it's hot enough as it is in there.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, we talked about that last week. Comfort being one of the main priorities for any cosplayer. You got to make sure you're comfortable, which means being cool, and not just being cool, but staying cool.
Exactly.
So yeah, you can put probably a fan in your helmet, eh?
Yeah, hopefully there's enough room. At least put it in the back. Hey, we got NYC. Welcome, buddy.
Hey, man. Welcome. Chat away. Got questions? Just let us know.
He's a Star Wars fan, so maybe he'll be making a Mandalorian helmet along with us. I'm going to paint mine like Mr. Miracle. So yeah, that was where I got my inspiration from. I wanted to keep it relatively cheap. Seeing some of these helmets that you could purchase online, you could get some cheap ones, but a lot of times it's hard to tell if it's going to be what you want, or going to be practical for you. And the ones that I seem to like are in the like $200 range, and that's a little bit pricey for me. I figure with the skill set that I have with my job, I should be able to relatively buy these foam materials, take the patterns that I have, and hopefully construct it myself.
Yeah, and you can make it relatively cheap. Definitely a lot cheaper than you can buy online. And I've seen a lot of the helmets they make, the Mandalorian specifically, especially since the show came out. People jumped on board all over it.
You try to find them on Etsy. They're anywhere from like $200 to $400.
Exactly, and you don't have to pay that. If you can make it out of foam, you can make it look like metal, and you can make it feel like plastic. It's kind of somewhat strong. You can put lights in it, and you can put a fan in it if you want. I've actually, when you go to the cons and you see a big regiment of Star Wars cosplays, usually you'll find everyone kind of congregates with the same character. So you'll see a bunch of Boba Fett's, or at least Mandalorians.
Yeah, I see that with Spider-Man and Deadpool. Those are the popular ones that you see them.
It's weird how everyone congregates, with like characters, or at least within the same universe. But they all have, and this is what you should maybe look into, is the voice changer. The
Okay.
You know how it sounds, how
Yeah,
Boba
yeah.
sounds, right? And the Mandalorian, they have that kind of radio calm voice changer.
Got
And
a question here from NYC. Do you see any inspiration for making cosplay pieces from statues?
who
I think you, man.
from statues?
Yeah.
Oh, I just saw that comment.
It's all right. I have the YouTube one up also.
Yeah, statues. I don't have many. I mean, I just got my first actual statue for my birthday from Delphia. It's a amazing Moon Knight.
Yeah.
But I did actually get some of my Moon Knight inspiration for my cosplay, especially the helmet headpiece from a statue. But I saw the images online. A lot of the images that I've got for my cosplays have come from online images, either from different comics, some inspiration from other cosplayers that have done the same character, and you can kind of take elements from
Probably just whatever you think looks cool to you, right? Whether it's a certain page in a comic book, a single drawing or print, or even it could be a statue. You just might not have seen a statue of the cosplay you're trying to build.
Now, for
That's
me,
all I am, man.
I'll be doing this guy, Dr. Fate. This was one of the first comics I bought with my own money back in the early 90s. I think issue 6 of this is technically the second series. There was first series that was only 4 issues long, but he's been a favorite of mine for quite a while.
Yeah, that'll be a cool build, man. And then painting it too, that gold.
Unfortunately, his yellow looking underwear is something I'm definitely not gonna. I'm
Kinda
gonna
looks
be
like Banana Man.
Even the old stuff. I got a few other books here.
Did you ever see Banana Man?
I have not.
It's an old British cartoon back in the 80s. As a kid, he would eat bananas and turn into a superhero, Banana Man.
You know what? I think I have seen that, or at least heard of it, or seen some kind of snippet of it. This is that first series of 4.
That's cool.
Check out his underwear. That's kind of up around his armpits.
Yeah,
But
almost.
cool.
I don't know, like some Japanese warrior type, maybe.
Yeah, this is the Keith Giffen. I do like Keith Giffen's art, but those underwear, man, I think
It's a rad cape, though.
It is. It's amazing, but there's been quite a few iterations of Dr. Fate over the years. This is my oldest Dr. Fate book, at least a Dr. Fate appearance. Here he is.
You can make yourself big, man, so it's easier for people to see if you want.
That's a good idea. Here we go.
I just thought of it myself. Also, I'll go through a whole episode of not doing stuff like that. It's like, oh man, I had all these buttons to play with.
Yeah. So there he is. This is from, I guess this is technically Silver Age. I mean, the way I believe Silver Age, I go from the death of Gwen Stacy being the end of the Silver Age. But some people go from like the end of the 60s. But this is, I think, 71 or something. It's a pretty cool Neil Adams cover. But
so you got some history with this character, and that's why you decided that this build was for you this year?
Yeah. There he is. He's magic, he's kind of like Doctor Strange. But, like if you look at this All-Star Squadron when what's his name? Ray Thomas, I think his name is, the writer. He brought all the Justice. He kind of brought the characters from the Golden Age into the 80s.
Okay.
And so a lot of Justice Society, and you see Dr. Fate his helmet there is how it looked in the 50s. In the golden age, he had kind of a half helmet.
Yeah, almost like a fin at the top too, or is that just
Yeah,
shot?
but I'm not going to go that direction.
The
In the
most
80s.
recent rendition of him that I know of is Young Justice. He has a small role in there, and who's he? The guy who's wielding the helmet now is Zatanna's father. I don't know if that's how it is in there.
Hey, Paul Mike. Yeah, it's a full helmet. This one I really like. This is when they kind of showed his origins, the start of the 80s. You know, they were bringing him back, at least making him a pre-solo series. I guess he was gaining some popularity, and then they brought this series. It's not technically
Ooh,
a
looks like
series.
Mum-Ra.
Sorry.
Looks like Mum-Ra without the dreads.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
Yeah,
he's got some big ass gauntlets there.
So you're gonna go full out, man, huh? The blue spandex with some yellow underwear and some big gloves.
Maybe. I don't know about span. Well, I probably might. I might get some spandex.
Yeah, it's not that bad, man, because you'd have a chest plate and then you
Or
got
under.
like some big underwear covering your junk. So it's really like nothing. You know what I mean?
This this series was the start of the 90s, and then later in the 90s they brought another
That's
short
cool.
series out.
Yeah, are you gonna do the faux hawk or are you just gonna do all solid dome?
No, I'm gonna put some kind of a mohawk beam across the top. That's kind of more shifted towards the front. And then I guess in the 2000s they did Countdown to Mystery.
Yeah, more in the back.
And it's more towards the back. I don't know. I think I prefer it that way.
Yeah, man.
But anyway,
I like that.
that's kind of my, I got a lot of comic inspiration. And I've been looking at images online, but
See, I was
sorry.
gonna say, sorry, man. You're in a little bit more of a predicament than me. I'm lucky enough that the Mandalorian and Boba Fett has been around, and people have been cosplaying it for years, to where I was able to find instructional videos and patterns on how to build mine. How is someone like you gonna go about finding a template or shaping and designing this helmet?
So the only template I've heard of is one from the Injustice game. And he's a character in that Injustice. I think it might be Injustice 2 even. And I think a guy reached out to me today. He saw my post on Instagram and said, "Hey, I did a cosplay. I've been following him, and I remembered his cosplay. It just looks like the one from the game." So he has
That's
a template
cool.
of that. I could probably, he said he'd send it to me. I usually just freehand, but so I got an image online,
Nice.
and I figure what I can do. It's a little big, but you can just print it out, and this is what I've done before for other kind of templates. Just print it out and just experiment. And what I'll do is just lay this out on some foam and cut it out, and then I'll make the pattern bigger because I'm going to be forming it. Because see, this is 2D going onto a 3D head. It's going to wrap around. So this is half a head. So you're going from the center line of your face. This is the left side.
And even then, you still have to increase it a bit because this is still on there. So when you start to wrap, you're going to lose some of it, right?
Yeah, and that depends on the thickness of the foam. If you have thick foam, you have to increase the size of your pattern more than if you have thinner foam, because when you turn that corner, that inside surface is going to be closer to your head than the outside surface, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
If you have really thick foam, it's going to be even closer to your head, and so it might be too small.
Yep.
So
I know exactly what you're talking about. For me, mine says I'm lucky on mine. It tells me all these pieces are cut from 10 millimeter thick EVA foam. Ring any bells?
What is that?
10 millimeter thick EVA foam.
Yeah. So the 10 millimeter I use is what I showed last week. This is 10 millimeter hard density foam. You can order it from SKS Props. I can show you the link. The guy's cool. He just started, I think, a couple of years ago making his own foam because it's higher density, it's easier to shape, you can Dremel it better, it glues better, it's smoother than floor mat foam.
Gotcha.
And the floor mat foam is usually half-inch, so that's bit over 12 millimeters, a bit thicker. And then when you have the where is it? Here. So this is floor mat foam.
Yeah, that's the one the guys.
It's similar.
Yeah, the black one is the one he showed in the video. So that's more flimsy than the one you have?
It's not as dense. I don't know if you can see it. It's more porous.
Gotcha.
So there's a lot more holes, a lot
more to absorb, more sanding and stuff at the final product too.
Exactly. Whereas this is clearly a higher density because it's called high density foam.
Hey, Fuchsia, welcome to the party.
Hey, Fuchsia.
We're going over our cosplay build. I'm the noob on the block, and Kachung's schooling me to the game.
Poor Mike said it's like a Spartan. You're right. Dr. Fate, he's kind of like a Spartan, especially this pattern. I really like this, but what I might do is kind of start with this, see how it goes. I may modify it, but I do like...
Yeah, see if you can flip the fin like you wanted.
Towards the back more.
Yeah, so, if you can manipulate it on the computer first and then print it out.
Yeah, well, actually, that'll be a separate piece, and I'll just trace...
I mean, that looks cool too, man. Like, it kind of does look cool with the Spartan towards the front, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
I guess you can make both fins, you know, and kind of dry fit it one each way, take a picture, see how it looks.
Yeah, I'd probably do a couple of different versions.
Yeah, because that's like one of the top pieces at the end, right? So you could just literally put some Scotch tape or something, or little dabs of hot melt to tack it on and check it out and see what it looks like.
What's possible is what I could just put magnets in the top of the helmet.
Switch them out.
Interchangeable.
That's cool.
Maybe going next level, but you can get little magnets, and I've used it for my Moon Knight, and just embed them in the edge.
Oh, that's the one I didn't. My third page has the earpiece because this is really like a Boba Fett helmet, I think. But it has the earpiece here at the side, and the guy in the video put a little magnet on there. So he's like, I could put a little flashlight, and he has a little tiny flashlight, and he puts little accessories on the end of it. I'm like, I might do that. See how it goes. We have to see how the build starts going, man. Carlito, what's up, buddy?
I got a little Boba Fett. I lost my my Star Wars figures years ago. I had a bunch. I didn't have many. You know, we didn't have all that money growing up, but my mom got me a few. Well, it's funny because the first time I got a Star Wars figure, she bought me a Gamorrean guard, right, from The Return of the Jedi, and I was not a happy little 7 or 8 year old. You know, I was like, Mom, this is not Darth Vader. This is not Han Solo. I want a good Star Wars figure. And she was like, but it was on sale. It was cheap. I'm like, come on. But I wanted Vader. Cool. She got me Vader. And I got a pop. This is Boba Fett prototype.
Oh.
I don't know why it's not focusing, but so it's kind of like a clear slate. I thought about actually painting this.
Yeah. See, that's what I have to look at. Maybe I'll get one of those in practice because they do have the all white ones.
And you can see how his indentation.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I'm going to paint red, like get all that red and then up the visor and across. And there's a strip that goes all the way back. Paint that yellow or gold. So it's like the Mr. Miracle.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Yeah, people do a lot of stuff with color schemes, especially when they're doing the mashup, you know?
Yeah, because I figured it was popular at the time. It was originally planned for MegaCon if I had the time doing it. But I'm like, everyone's going to want to be the Mando man because it's the new hot show. So I might as well put my own little spin on it, you know?
Absolutely.
And that helmet, you can wear whatever, like Cookie from Just Little Podcast. He wore with like a Hawaiian shirt, looking, you know, stormtrooper on vacation.
Great idea. Carlito, welcome, man. Notifications. Yeah, it's funny. I didn't see a notification come up for this show. I don't know why that is. Maybe that's StreamYard saying you need to pay. But it's
right.
It's a YouTube thing that gives you the notifications. I don't know what's going on there. So yeah, I think definitely look into the voice changer. But that's kind of like next level.
Yeah, once I have it made, then I would basically cut out the insides to mount those types of things inside, right?
Mm-hmm. Like a two-way radio.
Maybe I'd have to go with a thicker foam then, right, to give you more room to put the device inside, or you just tape it around.
Yeah, you could do a bit of both. I wouldn't go much more than 10 millimeters. I'd probably if you're going to use floor mats, I'd max out at that. And
I was just wondering because when you're putting that equipment on the inside, that stuff's going to be like sticking, you know.
Right.
You usually want to cut it into it and mount it in flush, so it's not like protruding into your neck or the back of your head all day, like, you know.
True. Yeah, and if it's sized right, there shouldn't be all that much room in there for it to move around.
I think it's for a 26-inch head. I think that's what it's
circumference.
Yeah.
I think that sounds about right. I don't know.
Right. I'm like, I don't know. I have a tape measure, but I don't have like a clothes measuring tape that I can wrap around my head.
26 inches, that's like waist size. It would have to be centimeters. 26 centimeters.
Yeah, maybe. Everything else here is millimeter, so yeah, they probably did do centimeters.
Yeah.
I'll check it out.
Definitely. So that's kind of the only Mandalorian I have. I figured you could, get some 3D inspiration from something like that.
Yeah. I was trying to like list the products that I'm going to have to get to make this build. So I got to get the foam. I have contact cement to glue the pieces together.
So you have the 2-part.
Yeah, I have stuff, the 2-part where it's not like that, but it's like
Same.
a clear. It's like a clear, almost like a rubber cement kind of type.
Yeah.
And you put it on both parts, let them dry, and then stick together.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I do a lot of my laminated countertops. So I have plenty of that stuff to use.
Yeah.
I have.
You got a heat gun to form the foam.
Yep. So then, as far as sealing, what do you recommend as far as spray? You know, I've seen these sprays that you fill in all the cracks. You gotta sand it and stuff.
I've done quite a few. I mean, not a lot, but I've used wood glue on insulation foam. That's different than what we're doing here. You're going to need, you can use Mod Podge, which is kind of like, it's got a consistency of like school glue. I don't know what you call that, like Elmer's glue.
Gotcha.
But I found when you sand that, it just peels off and it looks terrible.
Okay. Well, then I'm going to cross that off.
Yeah, Mod Podge, it's
the one I saw in the video, you had like some kind of spray. It was like some.
So this is Plastidip, is what a lot of people use on EVA foam.
Gotcha.
And after you've heat sealed it, so you got to run your hot iron, not hot iron, your heat gun over the whole surface, and that'll seal up a lot of those pores in the foam, a lot of the open cells, and then you spray 1 to 3 coats of Plastidip over it, let it dry between coats.
Yeah, before you even start your painting, this is to see so
Right.
you get a nice clean paint job. Gotcha.
If you want to go like some kind of an enamel route, which I'd almost suggest, especially for a Mandalorian helmet, because I may do this myself with Dr. Fate, because it's going to be super smooth and shiny. And you can start with that, even though you want it weathered looking, you can start with a super shiny, kind of glossy finish, and get what I showed last week, this Epsilon 2-part epoxy.
Yeah, I remember that.
And so you mix these together. Um, you you mix it up, and you have about 20 minutes to work with to coat your helmet, and it'll kind of self level, and you just get it up in all the nooks and crannies, and you let it cure, and it'll set like plastic, and so it'll make that foam a lot more rigid. It'll make it, and you probably do, I don't know, 2 or 3 coats of that. That'd be instead of your plasti dip. So you wouldn't even plasti dip, I think. And I might probably go this route too. So maybe we can do it together.
Gotcha.
I saw there's a guy called, I follow him. He's amazing at what he does with cosplay. He actually, what is his name? It'll come to me. Anyway, so he did the helmet. What is that character that Princess Leia comes into Jabba the Hutt's palace in? She's got the thermal detonator.
Oh yeah, that helmet. Yeah, I know what you're talking about when she pretends to be the bounty hunter.
The bounty hunter. I can't remember the name of that bounty hunter, but
yeah, she has the cool voice changer. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, yeah, right.
Hey, John, what's up, man?
Yeah. So yeah, he did that helmet, and he used that Epsilon Pro on that. And it looked amazing. So you can sand it, because it's kind of like plastic coating. Sand it, get it smooth, sand it again, get it smoother. You know that process because you're a carpenter.
Oh yeah, man. I'm usually going up to maybe 300 to 400 grit sandpaper. I've also seen people talking about a wet sand.
You do wet sand with 6, or even I've seen up as high as 800 grain. Wet and dry. Wet sanding.
It's tedious, but if you don't do it right, then you're gonna see all of that stuff. You'll get the orange peel or cracks.
Hey, John. John's showed up.
Who knows, if they're trying to do a weathered look, it might add to it. So
true. Yeah. Although the best weathered look it's mainly paint job. And there's some tricks that will, release out there. And a lot of people know them, but we'll talk about them in later episodes when we get to that. But there's some tricks you can do to have that multiple layer of paint. When the paint chips off,
yeah,
it looks like the paint's chipped off, but you've really just done a paint scheme that makes it look
cool.
like that.
I've seen some stuff like that where they do like kind of like a oil and vinegar or oil and water type of technique where it kind of spider cracks on it.
Yeah, there's quite a few different things you can do, and you can even do things to the foam itself before you seal it.
Like what?
So, what I did for Delphia's Wonder Woman belt to make it look like leather is, when it's hot, you use your heat gun and you get crinkled up aluminum foil and you press it into the foam. And it'll kind of have that crinkled look to it.
Gotcha.
And it really does look a lot like leather.
The faux finish. People do that stuff with like sponges and stuff on walls, give you that nice little texture.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I mean, there's so many different tricks using just plain old stuff you find around the house. Yeah, but we'll get to that when we.
I'm hoping to have these materials purchased within the next week or two, so that way we can start the process of tracing them out, cutting them out,
Sure, maybe we can go live doing that. I don't know. On weekends is the best time for us to do stuff
Sounds good to me.
online because we got busy weeks, both of us. And maybe during the morning because down here it gets hot. You're in Florida, so it gets pretty hot. Our
Yeah.
garage is not insulated, so it can
Yeah,
get pretty
neither
hot
am
in
I.
here.
Yeah, if it's later on in the day, if I have to go down to the shop to do some stuff like painting, and that's where all most of my equipment is, so that makes it easier on Saturday evenings.
If it's anything that doesn't need a fume mask, um, or a dust mask like dremeling, I'll just do it inside. We usually set up our dining room table and you know go to town there.
Yeah, assembling and stuff, I'll probably do it here at the house. But then once we get into the filling and painting, and I'll be ready to do that down there because I got an air compressor and a spray gun, so I can paint it up nice instead of have to worry about the cans.
Yeah, right. Yeah, usually this time of year, well, what is it? Almost the end of July. We have Dragon Con in about 5 weeks. If it was on,
It'd be on crunch time, man.
we'd be probably anywhere from a third to halfway through building 3 or 4 cosplays each.
Thing like this is hard because a lot of the process with the filling and the sanding and the painting and all that, it's like a day waiting, like in between each one almost to make sure that it's completely dried for you to move on to the next step.
Yeah, and half the time it's our own fault because we just leave things to the last minute. I'm more prone to doing that than Delphia is. She likes to get stuff done.
I
And
usually wait till the last minute on stuff, but I do like it. Like starting now, you could do a little bit here, a little bit there,
right.
and by next year, I'm gonna have a badass Mandalorian Mr. Miracle mashup,
And
Mr. Mando.
yeah, and without kind of that con crunch, deadline date, we can, make sure things are, not.
Yeah, the important details like the paint jobs
Yeah,
and stuff take the time.
exactly. And if we have to do some other parts, I think we should do some more elements to your costume to make it more like a Mandalorian. Give
Yeah,
you
man.
some like braces or like uh, a grappling hook shooter and maybe a backpack.
Yeah, man. Get some cardboard or something.
Modify that regular backpack of yours and make it look
turn
like.
my Jansport into a rocket pack.
Oh, here he is. Yeah, that jetpack he's got.
Yeah, Mando gets a jetpack too.
This guy's pretty neat. He came with like a game. I just got it because of the figure. I have
yeah. They're like the amiibos.
Yeah, I have a Chewbacca too. They're the only two I found. They were on super sale. But
I
I love
got one for my
Hey.
Nintendo Switch.
Oh yeah.
For my Zelda game, I get to. But if you don't want the toys, you can also get. I just happen to have this right here. I think. Maybe not. Yeah, here it is. For the game, if you don't want to get all the toys, this is the same amiibo, and you just swipe it over your controller, and this character.
Seriously?
Yeah.
That's cool.
I know we're off topic here for a minute, but yeah, in the game I just go like this, and he imports into Zelda.
No way. Was that like a PC game? Oh no, you said
Zelda for the Nintendo Switch.
Which are the Switch are those handheld ones, right?
Yeah. This guy right here.
Cool.
That's the whole system.
That's awesome.
Fun times.
Yeah, I'm not really up to date with all the computer game stuff. We have a PS3, maybe. I think it's.
Yeah, I haven't had games in years, and I decided a couple years ago I bought that nostalgia. The new generation of Nintendo, Super Mario and Zelda were coming out. I heard a new Metroid's going to be coming out, so I was like, it's cheaper than the other ones. I might as well just buy it, and I love it. It's one of the favorite systems I've ever owned.
That's cool. Yeah.
So I don't know what else do we have to go over here this evening. We've
I
talked
mean,
about our inspiration.
yep.
Mine was from the Tom King, Miss Gerard's run of Mr. Miracle, and my love of Star Wars Mandalorian. I'm going to be building that helmet and painting it up like Mr. Miracle.
That's going to be so cool. Yeah, I think you should definitely go the paint scheme, real colorful, and then just weather it out, just darken
Yeah,
the
I
edges.
got this shirt to go with it. That was kind of keep it simple, keep it comfortable.
Perfect. And so you probably want some kind of visor material too. One
Yeah,
thing that I did realize, I have an image here. I don't have it on the computer, but so there's your
yeah,
Mandalorian
there he is.
Mandalorian helmet. You see how there's the T, right?
Yeah,
The visor. And a lot of people for the down part of the T, that's all part of the visor as well. But when you make that out of foam, it's gonna do that.
yeah. Until I install that visor piece, huh?
Right. So what you can do is in the meantime, and what I would do, especially if you heat form it, is glue a piece of foam between the bridge of your nose to keep those edges in.
Gotcha.
Because
What about
you,
like duct tape or painter's tape?
that might come off. I mean, it probably will. I would make it almost permanent, and you can just cut it
Yeah,
off.
because you want to paint the whole thing before you install that,
Exactly.
or else you're gonna
If
have to tape a lot of stuff off.
if you're using Epsilon, it's gonna give that hard exterior to it, and it I mean, it'll probably hold, especially after the second or third coat. But if you have that bridge piece to hold those corners together, I think that would probably be the trickiest part to the build, keeping that
Gotcha.
together, and then you'll probably just glue that film in there. Whatever you find, some people sell that stuff in different colors.
Yeah, I saw one guy make it out of some kind of clear stuff, and then he applied tint to it. I'm gonna try to find an already tinted
Okay,
visor.
that's cool.
I might even slightly make the opening a little bit bigger, so I'm not as restricted on, what I can see.
Yeah, so you can see more. There's
Yep.
a there's quite a few people that sell on Etsy the visors for Halo helmets, because a lot of people
About
build
the halo, yeah.
Halo costumes, but it has that hexagonal pattern on it. That's almost like a watermark in the clear, transparent visor, and they just sell it in all sorts of different colors. But you can obviously get it without that pattern, and
Gotcha.
just go for that. Once that's glued on there, then obviously there'll be no distortion.
I'm psyched, man.
Yeah, that's going to be great. Uh, I we haven't really set up for next week what we're going to be talking about, but the next step, it may be maybe 2 weeks down the road, so we can accumulate a few materials and maybe start.
Exactly what I was thinking, man. So when we touch base next time, we already got materials in hand, and we can start tracing patterns, cutting, and hopefully
Yeah,
assembling.
yeah, and maybe we can do some prior to the show, show what we got,
Sounds
and
good, man. Yeah, I'm ready for that.
a bit of
Of
show and
course,
tell.
I'm gonna have this foam show up. Of course, I'm gonna want to show it off. Be like, "Yep, I got this. These are my tools. This is what's going down."
Yeah. What I think I'm going to be doing is using floor mats that I have and just doing a prototype, because it's
I
a lot
have some floor mats I can use, man, and I was just worried because they're textured. So I was just,
on
but
both sides.
I don't know. I never flip them over.
Yeah. I think the floor mats you get for like gym, or like for making gym at home,
Yeah,
uh, the the smooth side is the underside, like the part that goes to the floor, and the textured side is what you stand and jump on or whatever.
All right, I'll do the smooth side. I'll see what it looks like.
Yeah. We got a
Hello.
visitor.
Hello, everyone. How many people are watching? One? Is that one person?
One.
One. I can't even see the numbers, but thanks for that one person. We had a
They
few
all missed
earlier.
out. We had a few people in here. Carlito and Fuchsia were in here. John was in here.
John.
NYC.
Well,
it's all good.
Yeah, so we're just kind of going through what we'll probably be doing next, and that's getting some materials together to make our helmets.
Nice.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Are you going to be building anything?
Yeah, I mean, I think if Kachung's building something, I'm certainly probably going to be building something.
Maybe make a guest appearance down the road?
Yeah, I think it would be cool to like move the show into the garage. So I think that would be like a cool thing to do. And maybe I was even thinking about like a build competition would be kind of cool. Like, you know, like having,
she's the idea person.
Having like a competition, and you know, like inviting some people that even like as things, you know, continue, people that cosplay, even if they're like amateur to semi-professional, and then building something and putting a timer on it and seeing what you come up with.
That's cool. They used to have a show on Sci-Fi kind of like that.
Oh,
they were like prop masters, but they were making like makeups and costumes for people.
Cool. There's a few cosplayers that I've been following that I think at least one of them was on that show.
Really?
I didn't realize that until they mentioned it. But
that's cool.
Some of them, you know, some of the really good cosplayers get hired for films. I know a guy that I follow who lives in New Zealand. He does amazing armor, and he got hired for the Power Ranger film.
That's cool.
Yeah, so they got him on board, and he gave
just got noticed from cosplaying.
Yeah, and a lot of those Sci-Fi Channel shows that you see, that's all foam, and you know, it's all made by somebody.
Yeah, I guess it's kind of like your resume going up if you want to get a job for like Greg Nicotero or whoever, you know, who's doing all special effects and stuff like that.
Right. But I think that's a good idea, a competition.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah.
Definitely.
We can find a prize and give it out.
Yeah.
We can have other people on the show and they can show off their progress, maybe.
I mean, it doesn't even have to be anything great. I mean, I think a lot of people in the comic community are, you know, making their own wrestling belts. You know what I mean?
So, right. We could do something like that too. Make our own little trophy or something and ship it out.
John's making comic book stands with Lego.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, people can get creative.
Yeah.
So what are we doing next time?
So we're going to accumulate some materials. I think Bake has a lot of the stuff that he needs to get going, except the foam, right?
Yeah, basically the foam and then the sealers.
He's got his contact cement. We'll get some sealer.
So what are you making?
We're both making helmets.
Oh, wow. From start to finish? In an hour?
No.
Oh, okay. So what are you going to... What's the build part for the first show? Is it just whatever you guys want to start on, or like you guys going to like incrementally lay it out?
Yeah, we're going to incrementally show the progress
of your helmet.
Each successive week. Yeah.
Okay.
And hopefully keep it within an hour to two each episode, and then just keep going throughout the process each week.
All right.
Mm-hmm. And once we're done with the helmets, then we can move on to the other parts of the cosplay.
Very cool. I could make a helmet.
Yeah.
Why not? Yeah.
Oh, maybe Hella or something like that.
Yeah. He
that'd be cool.
Like determining my cosplays. Like, and I'm like, yeah, maybe. Or this. He's like, maybe it could be like this, or this. I think even when he started watching Clone Wars, he was like, I got so much inspiration from Clone Wars. And sometimes, like, I go with it, but sometimes I'm like...
Yeah. You do have a lot of great costumes.
Yeah.
Thank you. That was, my Carnage was inspired by the Mark Brooks cover because I do love some Mark Brooks, and then he did shout me back out on Instagram when I tagged him, and then I tried to see if he would send me like a free signed book, and it didn't happen. I pushed my luck. Maybe if I did like 5 like Mark Brooks homages, I might have gotten like a free book, but I did 1.
Yeah, just ask every year.
What about now?
Right.
That's cool. All right,
Yeah.
the helmets it is then. That's pretty neat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm doing a Mandalorian helmet, and I'm gonna pick like Mr. Miracle.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, that's cool. Are you gonna make that out of foam or a cloth or like how are you gonna do that?
Foam. I got these patterns online, and I'm gonna cut it out of foam.
Do you have issues would love that?
Right?
Yeah, he loves
Mr. He loves him. Do you have a heat gun?
Yep, got a heat gun, Dremel, contact cement. I got all that, basically all the stuff I'm going to need at the shop. I do custom cabinets and carpentry, so I have access to, a lot of that stuff.
Are you going to do it at the shop?
Yeah, when I have to. The things I can do here at the house, it's better because the shop I don't have any like traffic lights, but it's one straight shop for like 15-20 minute drive. It's not a big deal, but
so it's not it's not a home shop, like you have like a shop.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, that'll be awesome. I'm excited. I'll figure out something to make. I don't know what mask I'm making yet because I mean, right now, honestly, we'd usually be in con crunch time.
Yeah. That's what he was just saying. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, it's usually insane during that time, just because there's random bits of cosplay around the entire house.
Yeah.
And so that's
things drying here, over here pinned up, concepts over there.
One costume to the next. As one piece is drying over there in another room, we'll be working on something else and piece everything together bit by bit.
And
that's cool, yeah.
I love organization. Like I'm a very organized person, so that drives me. It's like insane.
I try to be organized. I have like organized chaos. Things are in piles over here. I'm like, I know it's over there somewhere, not over here, but there.
Yeah, no, that is a good way to put it. Organized chaos is crunch time. That's what it seems like here. And I swear, like I made a cape for my poison ivy, and it had so much detail and these tiny little like rhinestones and beads on it because I wanted it to look a certain way. And I am still sweeping up beads from that. Like I just find random beads like under like the couch and behind doors.
That was 2 years ago.
Kind of like glitter, right? It just gets everywhere.
It gets everywhere. But yeah, that'll be cool. I'm excited to make a mask. I'll figure it out. It'll be mine is a mystery. So you guys can make a little thumbnail and like put a big question mark. Oh, look, there's another viewer. How about that? Yeah. Someone's in the crowd.
Welcome, mystery viewer.
You came in just in time. We're going to make masks next time. And
helmets.
Oh, sorry.
Well, we're making helmets. You can make
action figures.
Action figures. I'm excited.
Yeah.
Cool.
Me too. This is the first time for me, so I'm going to see, try to put my skills to the test.
Yeah, that'd be cool. We could even make like capes and then like do a contest and like give the capes away because it seems like everyone in the comic community wants to like take their shirt off and wear a cape.
Yeah.
Old Wolf has a cape. We may need to upgrade that for him.
Right.
Give him a collar.
Mr. Miracle Cape has a big collar.
Yeah, you have a cape in your costume, and even Boba Fett has a cape.
Yep.
Mandalorian has a cape.
I guess I got to do a cape.
So maybe you need to do a cape.
Cool. I'm excited. Let's do it.
I have a cape, but it's pretty much just plain yellow.
Still a cape.
It's still a cape. I think it's one of his. It is one of his magical objects. His helmet is the main one, the helmet of fate. That gives him like 80 to 90% of his power.
And the cape gives him the rest.
And he has an amulet like Doctor Strange.
Mm-hmm.
And then a cape.
All right. Well, you got plenty of accessories then.
And the amulet lights up, so I'm excited to light that thing up when we get to it. Cool. Well,
Yeah. Thanks everybody for joining us.
Thank you for showing up. And if you're watching this on the replay, go back and watch our first video, which is kind of breaking down the steps that we're going to take to show the process of cosplay from start to finish. We're going to be working on helmets or masks to begin with.
Oh yeah, I mean, just something to go on your head. I think
on the head, the headpiece.
The headpiece.
So yeah, tune in probably in a couple of weeks once we've got everything together and we can start showing this in real time.
Oh, we're not doing the mask next week. We're doing it in 2 weeks.
Possibly.
Oh,
we'll
okay.
See. Yeah.
TBD.
TBD.
So this day.
I gotta get material shipped to me and stuff, so we'll see when it gets here.
Got it. So either a week or 2 weeks, same time, same day, right?
Yep.
Yep. Yeah,
cool.
It's going to be a repetitive time. I think we'll do 7 p.m. on a Saturday Eastern.
That way, if we have to run late, it's not that big of a deal.
Cool.
Right. And if we're doing stuff in the day, maybe we'll do stuff earlier, but we'll definitely be letting people know ahead of time.
Awesome.
All right. Thanks, babe.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yep.
We'll, see you guys next week.
Have a good one. See you in the chats.